hard to not come back for one more of these following the Memorial Cup, and maybe it's in defense of the Ontario Hockey League, the one that I cover. But as we get things started, first and foremost, congratulations to the St. John Sea Dogs, 2022 Memorial Cup champions. They won the game that mattered the most, and that, of course, was the last game. The problem, of course, is the 38 days in between the last game and St. John Sea Dogs' previous last game. Their previous last game came in the first round of the QMJHL playoffs. It was a best-of-5 series. They got to Game 5 overtime, but they lost. Then they fired their coach, brought in a new voice, waited 38 days, and began the Memorial Cup tournament, where, by all accounts, they were a very good team, and at the end, the ledger shows they were the best team. But what about that 38-day layoff? It's not the first time this has happened, of course. In fact, it's the second time in the past 4 championships. In 2017, the Windsor Spitfires turned the same trick. They get knocked out in the first round, but as the host team, they rest for more than 40 days. They come back and they win the Memorial Cup championship. I know that we need to have, well, the argument anyway for a host team is that you got to put bums in seats. It is not inexpensive at all to host the Memorial Cup. So the host city needs to make some of, at least, that money back by putting bums in seats for the games. And if you don't have a home team to cheer for, it gets a little bit harder to put those bums in those seats. But is this really the way we want to see the Canadian Junior Hockey Championship decided? Just think for a moment. The St. John Sea Dogs won more games in the Memorial Cup tournament, 3, than they won in the QMJHL playoffs this year, just 2. Meantime, the Hamilton Bulldogs on the Ontario side had to win 16 playoff games to capture the OHL championship, and then they went on to win 2 more during the Memorial Cup. So that's 18 postseason wins for the Bulldogs to just 5 for the Sea Dogs. It doesn't seem all that balanced. Not to mention, you could tell some of the Bulldogs were playing, if not just outright fatigued and out of gas, a little bit, or more than a little bit, banged up. There's a huge advantage to that kind of a layoff, especially at this time of the season, and there is no arguing that. But is there an easy fix, especially when revenue is so important? Well, maybe that just speaks to what these leagues, plural, Western, Q, and O, have to do. The Canadian Hockey League maybe just has to ramp up the marketing machine, get more people interested in the game. So whether there's a home team or not, junior hockey fans are passionately following your leagues and ultimately the Memorial Cup Championship. A couple of other ideas that were suggested. Terry Doyle, who covers the Sarnia Sting and was in St. John for the Memorial Cup, said talk there was a 10 to 14 day gap after the championships for the leagues and then the beginning of the Memorial Cup, obviously allowing those league champions to get some rest and recovery before the Memorial Cup tournament begins. It's not a bad idea, although I think you run the risk of losing some of that momentum you've gained through extended and exciting playoff runs. Mike Stubbs, who covers the Knights in London, put forward the idea on Twitter during the Memorial Cup final that maybe what we need is a minimum number of games won by the host team in order to earn that automatic berth. So if you get bounced in the first round, it doesn't count. But maybe if you make it to the third round, they still let you in as the host team. There's not an easy solution to this. But when the championship leaves a little bit of a sour taste in fans' mouths, maybe, just maybe, it's time to revisit this thing. We've played the Memorial Cup for more than 100 years now. Surely there's room for some tweaks. I'm Farwell. It's Friday. Hey, happy Canada Day. We'll see you in September.